we're going to play around now with plotting in MATLAB. Plotting. Okay, so this is great. We love plotting in MATLAB because it allows us to see data. So let's just say I have some data that's like, I don't know, just a bunch of numbers and stuff. I don't know, some random data. We'll say a 1 by 5 matrix of random, I'll make it a 1 by 15 matrix of random data. And like, I don't know, I'm just making up numbers. So I don't know, these are x and y values. Okay, so now I want to plot x and y, and I go like this, and it's like, wow, look at all my data. This is actually really terrible data. It's all kinds of wonky. Let's see why it's all kinds of wonky. So basically what happened is, this is a terrible example to start with. Let's make only 5 and see what happens. So, stupid plot thingy. Okay, so let's look at this. So I plotted some random data and it came out completely terrible. Now that is because I'm an idiot. Yay! It's also because it's doing exactly what I told it to do. So basically what it's doing is it's plotting a combination of 1 and then 8.2 and then, wait, not even 1. So it's plotting these xy coordinate pairs. So I made up some really stupid xy coordinate pairs, and that's exactly what it's plotting, because, you know, I told it to. So MATLAB's doing what I tell it to, and then I get mad because it doesn't do it right. So basically what you can see that MATLAB is doing is it's plotting this really obnoxious coordinate pair. So it's plotting 0.3 or 0.4 and then 1. So 0.4 out, 1 up, and then 0.3 and then 575 up, and then 0.7 and 10.5 up, just here, and then 0.7 and 5 1/4 up, so 0.7 and 5 1/4 up, it's kind of right hidden in there, and then 0.1 and 20 up, so 0.1 and 20 up. So this was a really stupid thing to plot, but it does immediately bring out the obvious, which is MATLAB does precisely what you tell it to do. So if you tell it to do something stupid, that's what it's going to do. Probably, I mean, it's not that it's stupid, it's just not a function. We're not used to seeing data like this. If I flip the order and I call the first one y and the second one x, there, and I plot this, oh gosh, it's going to happen every time. This at least kind of looks like data, because it's going to go out 1 and then to 0.4, out 5.75 and up to 4. So I guess maybe the first thing that we do is we always got to make sure we're plotting the data that we want to be plotting. Doo-doo, doo-doo. Like that. Okay, so let's start off with something maybe a little bit more obvious. Let's just say we've got some basic data, and it's at like, I don't know, 4 and an 8 and a 12 and a 9, I don't know, and then let's just plot this and see what happens. Let's just say plot x and see what happens. Oh, come on, goodness gracious, that thing. You're like, whoa, that's kind of weird. There's all kinds of things weird about this plot. First of all, it starts in the corner at 1, 4, and that's just because that's what MATLAB does. MATLAB zooms in as absolutely tightly as it can. But look what we've got. We've got 1, 4, 2, 8, 3, 12, and 4, 9. You might say, well, that's weird. I might say, yeah. How do you know that there's a point there? Well, they're all in a line. If I wanted to make it a little bit different, I could call that 9 and plot it again. And there I can see there's 2, 9, and 3, 12, and 4. Why does it do 1 through 4? Well, that's the default. If I don't give it a y, by default, MATLAB is going to plot it 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, maybe for some reason the data isn't 1, 2, 3, and 4. Maybe the data is 1, 3, 9, and 16. Maybe those are the points that I want to plot, in which case, plot xy. I'm going to go ahead and plot that and get this. So it's 1, 3. Wait, did I do this right? Oh no, now it's backwards again. I'm going to do this. You know, I should actually learn my stuff before I start recording videos that the whole people in the world would potentially see. Anyway, so now if I actually want it to have some certain values, then I can go ahead and I can plot this. So now I've got 1, 4, 1, 4, 9, 3, 9, 3, I can't talk right. 1, 4, 3, 9, 3, 9, 9, 12, 9, 12, and then 9, 16. I keep saying this backwards. I'm so sorry, guys. I swear I'm not an idiot. 1, 4, 3, 9, 9, 12, and 16, 9. So 16 over 9 up. Okay, now say I want to know exactly where these points are. What I can do is I can actually tell it, put an X where the little plotty points are, things that I'm asking you to plot. So whenever I do that, no, not that. Whenever I do that, then I get something that looks like this. So I get 1, 4, 3, 9, 9, 12, and 16, 9. And I say, well, wait. I didn't want you to not include the little line in between, so here, do that. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then here I go. Now there's the line in between. And you say, wow, you're like a genius, except for the fact, you get your X's and Y's confused. But aside from that, you're totally a genius. So how did you know how to do that? Well, here's how you do it. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to go and you're going to say help plot. And plot's going to give you all sorts of information. So this is my favorite part of the plot, help. I have a favorite part of the plot help thingy, which basically shows me how I can control a variety of things. So I want to plot X and Y and make it a blue line. It does that by default. I could make it a green line by putting a G in here. And it doesn't matter what order I put in. I could put the G here, I could put the G here, or wherever. But what you'll see is G tells me what color, X would put an X mark on it, and the line here would put a solid line. If I wanted a dashed line, I could do 2 of those. And again, it doesn't matter where the G is. And instead of making it an X, I could make it a diamond, diamond. And now I've got diamonds with little dashed lines in there. So that's kind of cool. So something to think about. All right, now let's see what else we can do to make this picture not look so stupid. So one of the things that I don't like about it is it starts at 0 on the x-axis, but it doesn't start at 0 on the y-axis. So if I look at help plot, it's going to show me a whole bunch of things that I can use to make it better. You'll see that there's something called axis and axes and hold and legend and subplots and titles and x labels and y labels. So let me click on axes. Axes, I don't think that's what I want. What is axis? Axis. Ooh, min, max. Okay, so because I know the kind of data that I have, I would like my x-axis to go from 0 to 16, and let's go ahead and make my y-axis go from 0 to 15 or something like that. So axis, come here girl, axis, 0 to 16 on the x-axis, and then 0 to, 13 on the y-axis. And now, see how my axes are pretty. There, axes are pretty. All right, now I had some other options. I could do a title, and the title is going to be pretty much like you'd expect. My data. I have a title, and then there's an X label. This could be, time in seconds. And then I could have a, wait, how come you didn't, there it is. And then I could have a Y label, which is, gummy bears in pounds. There. So now I have pretty stuff. I don't like green. Green is hard to see. Let's make it red. Yay! Okay, so there's my data. And I'm able to come up with all kinds of stuff. It's actually kind of cool. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. If I wanted to change, now a lot of the rules that we have with strings still apply. So if I wanted to call this puppies data, it's not going to work because I can't have the apostrophe unless I do a double apostrophe. Now I can have the double apostrophe. So that's kind of cool. I think that's a good start on some basic plotting, and there's all kinds of stuff you can do with it from there. But I think what we really want to talk about and what I want to make sure that you get out of this is if I change the order, it's going to plot it in whatever order I give it. So if I give it a 3 and then a 1, it's going to go out 3 and then back to 1. So it's going to go out 3, so it's going to do 3, 4, and then back to 1, 1, 9. And so this is something that's really, really, really important about MATLAB is it doesn't automatically do the data in the order that you might think it would do, if that makes sense. So let's say that for some reason, no, let's not say that for some reason. Let's just be happy with the idea that if I change the order and say like this one goes back to like -5, basically the idea is if you look at data and it looks weird, it's because it's doing exactly what you tell it to do. And you say, well, what happened to that data? It's like, why isn't it showing it? And that's because I manually set my axes to stop here at 0. So what's going to happen is it's going to plot 3, 4, then it's going to plot 1, 9, then it's going to plot 9, 12, and then it's going to plot -5, 9, which is way over here, which is why the line looks like it's coming back this way. So I don't even know what the original number was. But anyway, it's something to really think about is that it's going to plot the points in the order that you tell it to. and it's going to do precisely what you tell it to. So you can't get mad at MATLAB for giving you an ugly figure when it's just following orders.